Hi there, I'm Ondasa, your Krav Maga expert, owner and head instructor of Smart Krav Maga. Today I want to talk about sparring, fighting in Krav Maga, the approach, type of sparring and fighting that we have, fighting drills that we have in Krav Maga, and the whole idea. In general, Krav Maga is about fighting in the street. Fighting in the street, self-defense in the street, whatever they say, and it's all good and true. But at the end of the day, you need to spar. If you don't spar, if you do only self-defense, it's not what's going to happen in the street. Maybe it will start from a self-defense situation, but it can maybe go into a fighting situation. The self-defense is only the first part of the situation in the street. Fighting is another part. Fighting in Krav Maga is about teaching the students how to deal with stress, how to deal with getting hit, and do it in a safe way. That said, we want the students in different level of the fighting, we will talk about it, learn how to move correctly, how to position, how to punch correctly with force, with attempt to hurt. While all doing this, they have to remember also that we're still training in the training place. So you're training with a partner, your friend, you have to take care of him and make everything safe. Safe to you, safe to him, without really trying to kill each other. It's two things that are very important in training. So you can go all out, destroy each other, but at the end you have to leave the ego outside, calm down, relax, everything is good. Fighting is fighting. While fighting, you don't talk. You don't say, oh, it was a good hit. You don't acknowledge the hit. You don't hit and say sorry. There is nothing like this. I always say to the students, don't say sorry if you got a good hit. Don't worry, your partner knows you hit him. He will try to get you back. That's the whole idea. You get hit, you hit, it's a learning process, as long as it doesn't become personal. You don't have to say sorry, you don't have to acknowledge it was a good hit. There is no reason to stop the fight, whichever type of sparring you're doing, slow, fast, we will talk about it later. I always say to my students and to my instructors, if you want to get really good in sparring, go to people who do this. So go to Thai boxing, go to kickboxing, go train with these guys. They know how to spar, they will teach you how to spar, they will teach you how to fight. And maybe if you're up to it, go even and do some interclub, some low-level, intermediate, amateur fighting so you feel the adrenaline. So this is the general idea. The first thing we have in sparring is what we call shadow boxing or shadow sparring. Basically, the idea is you spar with yourself with an imaginary friend, like you had in kindergarten. You had an imaginary friend, now you're a grown-up, you still have an imaginary friend. You are doing everything, all the movement of the fight, your punches, you're moving correctly, your defenses, don't forget to do defenses, very important. The idea is to imagine somebody in front of you who throws punches, kicks, try to get to a clinch, and you defend this. It has to be slow, so you can control. It has to be slow so you can imagine what is coming and what is the correct defense you're going to do. Try to make the correct defense. There is no stress, so you can take all the time in the world and you do it slow. Later you can add speed to it, there's no problem. Remember, you will never get hurt, so you can try whatever you want, do it correctly. And another small thing, you will always win because you are sparring an imaginary person. You will win. Okay, so now we go into sparring. In Krav Maga, we divide the sparring by the speed we will be working on. We talk about three basic speeds: slow sparring, 50%, and full. Let's start with the slow sparring. The idea of the slow sparring is to take the pressure out, to take the fear out of the equation. When you're working with a partner and full sparring, you are always going to be afraid of what he can do to you, definitely if you train with this guy. You know him from training, you know he's fast, you know he's strong, you know he's this or that. Slow sparring allows the two partners to work very slow, taking the pressure or the stress of getting hurt and making mistake out of the equation. A few rules that we have to follow is that first one, you have to spar. Slow sparring has to be done with somebody you trust and you're comfortable with. Trust and comfortable with, so he will not accelerate suddenly. That's one. That he will not, if see opening, go fast just to hit. And three, to leave the ego outside. If I hit him, if he hits me, everything is okay. It's a learning process. What's also important in the slow fighting is to try new things. Don't stay in your regular safe zone. This is a place to try your new techniques, your new defenses, a new whatever thing you saw in UFC. Try it, but do it slow, not fast. Slow gives us the time to see the motion coming, make the correct decision making, execute the correct defense, and try to execute the correct counterattack or the counterattack I want, and roll like this through the drill. The secret of slow sparring is like a warm-up. You should not really work out too much. You should not even sweat. Of course, we do not talk. There's nothing to talk about. You're not acknowledging, and you're not speeding up. It is slow. I'm always saying, like slow motion on television. I can definitely say that from my experience, that in the beginning it was never like this. There was no slow fighting. There was, put your gear on, and let's go. Actually, in slow fighting, you should have maybe a groin protection, mouthpiece, and that's it. You should be so sure that your partner will not hit you, touch you, yes, not hit you, not cause damage. So you don't need protection. Even a block against a low kick will not hurt. That was a little bit about the slow fighting. We will continue with the next one. The second type of sparring Krav Maga is what we call 50%. 50% is a big number. What does it mean, 50%? Is it 50% speed? Is it 50% power? What is my 50% compared to somebody who is 120 kilos and bigger, stronger than me? What is his 50% compared to my 50%? Interesting questions. How do we solve them? Very simple. We go by the smallest guy. If I am 60 kilos and my friend is 100 kilos, the 50% will be my 50%. It can be either 50% in power and speed, it can be one of them, you can play. But the basic says 50% on everything. The idea is that all the motions, all the attacks, all the defenses will be done 50% speed and power, but they will look to hit the target. I will not send or hold back my attacks. If my full speed is this, I will go this. But I will look to hit the target. Again, ego is outside. I need to trust my partner not to accelerate. Very easy to accelerate the speeds here. I need to trust myself and my partner not to see an opening and stick something in very fast just to show. It's about, again, the learning process. After we did a lot of slow sparring, we learn, we can start to accelerate. The moment we put 50%, and I know my partner is going to try to hit me. By the way, also in slow fighting, you try to hit, but it's going to be a touch. But I know, the moment I know I'm accelerating and my partner can hit me, immediately the stress level starts to go up, and this is what we want to play on. Gradually putting the stress on. Point of view of protection gear, again, if you trust your partner, you can get away with groin protection and mouthpiece. You want to put more protection, shin guards, arm pads, MMA glove, full glove, headgear, everything is doable depending on you and your partner, depending on the instruction of the instructor, of course. What does he want to do? He will give you the instructor depending on the lesson plan. It could be 50% with full protection, so everybody is not afraid to get hurt. And we go and we hit each other. We hit, we don't try to kill each other. So, the last one, full fight. Here we go. This is the time to destroy your partner, but easy, don't really kill him. Full sparring, full gear on, have fun. The idea is to try and take the head off, as if, of your partner. Of course, there is always somebody who's stronger than the other. This is the job of you as the partner. If you see that you're winning, so take it down a notch so your partner can learn. If the instructor sees that one is controlling the fight or winning the fight, it's his job to change the students so it will get a balanced fight. If it's one punching the other and the other doesn't react, there is no learning process, not from the losing side and not from the winning side. There's just ego there. Ego again has to stay outside. The whole idea of a full sparring is to see really how does it look when somebody is really trying to hit you, take your head off, try to kick you a low kick or a groin kick as hard as he can, and how do you react to this. Hopefully by the time you get to full sparring, you did some slow, you did some 50%, and you're more or less ready. The stress level should be high because it's somebody who's trying to take your head off, somebody who's trying to hurt you. This is why important, all gear on, listen to the instructor. Here, like we always say, we stop only if there is an injury or if one side is really winning. You don't talk to your partner, you don't acknowledge, you don't say sorry. That's the job of the drill, to fight. By the way, in 50%, we also don't stop. There should not be injuries, there should not be acknowledging, there should not be anything. You continue to spar. If again there is a winning side and a losing side, you stop, you change partner. This is the full fighting. The idea is to have the feeling that somebody is hitting you. That was a little bit about the different fightings, type of fightings that we have in Krav Maga. Of course, sometimes we can play with this without gear, with gear, protection gear, I mean. Speeds, sometimes instructor says just full speed but don't hurt, don't touch. Maybe they say only marking, only touching, but full speed. It doesn't matter. It's all a variation on stress amount, speed amount, pressure and stress. Get used to it. This is about fighting. Hope you learned something. Hope you put it in your training. Remember, ego is out. The most important thing, trust your partner, also important. If you have any comments, please leave them downstairs and contact me if you have more questions. Have a good sparring session.